And we are back, and it is our discussion topic. This is the main topic of the show where we would usually spend the most time, but where we're going to focus on. And today's topic, we are going to be talking about the shows, the mid-season replacement slash shows premiering in the middle, um, that we are looking forward to the most. And we've got a few selections here. I picked five. Corey, you've got four. Um, so I'm going to
I'll make
start.
it feel like 30. I know I will.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
I'm
yeah.
not.
I'll start mine off here. I'm gonna start with the one that premieres the soonest, and that's actually this Sunday. And that is the Mick. This is on Fox. This stars Caitlin Olsen, and we were talking about this one in the beginning, and I don't know exactly why, but the show, it reminds me, like, why I want to watch it, because it reminds me almost exactly like of the show that also was on Fox called Sons of Tucson.
And remind me how that show did.
I believe it got canceled halfway through its mid-season run, and then all the episodes got burned off. I know this because this is the show I learned what's burning off meant when it came to television, thanks to one Don't Tell Glenn Rubenstein.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nothing against Tyler Labine, who was the lead in Sons of Tucson. We talked about this a little bit pre-show. Perfectly enjoyable guy. It seems to have been sitcom death everywhere he's turned, but sure, whatever. Caitlin Olsen is hopefully, I mean, if you go off of how she's been in Always Sunny, if you've watched her other things, I saw her in Finding Dory the other day. I mean, she was only voicing a whale, but she was great in it. She definitely has the chops to run a show, I think, at this point. And I think that she can play this kind of character really well. That unlikable, never growing up character. It's not vastly different from what she's doing on Always Sunny, although she's maybe a little bit more of Mac or Charlie in this than she is Sweet D, but it's close. And that hopefully will work for her. I keep seeing the commercials. My God, they are beating the shit out of you with the commercials on Fox right now.
Yeah.
But that means that they're at least trying to show that they believe in it, and they're doing everything they can to get people to watch it. So hopefully.
No, yeah. Corey, you want to do one of your shows?
Yeah. So I will start off. One of the things that I'm actually looking forward to, probably more than I would have expected, because I never read the books, and I was not a fan of the original incarnation of the movie with Jim Carrey. But A Series of Unfortunate Events is coming to Netflix as an original series, and this is starring Neil Patrick Harris and oh God, the Tick, the fucking Brock Sampson is playing Lemony Snicket as the narrator for it.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw the preview a few months ago, and it's one of those things. My wife was reading the Lemony Snicket books when they were coming out, and she was really into it. And then we got the movie, and she did not enjoy the movie either. But she had something to compare it to. I saw this, and I'm like, I think she might be into this. I think she could enjoy this. It looks well done, and it looks funny as opposed to just weird. That Jim Carrey brought weirdness to it. This looks like there's actual humor there, and you kind of feel for the kids. And the fact that it's Netflix, is they kind of know what they're doing when they're picking. We talked about this a little bit earlier. They know what they're doing when they're picking their shows and how to make them for the right audience that they're trying to reach. I think this one is gonna be banging.
Yeah, it's body be banging, as one of our other favorite shows would say. My next show, it's real quick, because I mean it's one of those shows that we're both, I think we both watched this one. and this airs both in America and in England at the same time. It's premiering New Year's Day, and that's Sherlock. And this is series 4/season 4. And yeah, this is one that I'm like, all right, we get. It's weird because I respect the film industries, the movie industries, with the fact that we have big name actors in here, with Benedict Cumberbatch, Martin Freeman,
Making that fucking Marvel money now, man.
yeah, making the Marvel money here, to where it's like it's gonna take time away, and it's like, but like at the same time, it's like, I know you guys got so many stories you could possibly be telling, and this is coming from a guy who, I don't know if you remember the show, but my first taste into Sherlock Holmes was the animated show that was on Fox Kids, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century.
Yep.
That was my first one, and I read a little bit of the the novels that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote, but it was like this that I really enjoyed. And I'll admit, I did come in from the Doctor Who side of, okay, Stephen Moffat's writing this with Mark Gatiss, so I'll check it out, and then I'm like, holy cow, I love this. This is so cool. Yeah, there's 3 episodes coming out, airing on Sunday starting on the 1st. So it's the first 10 or first 9th, or no, first 8th, and then whatever, add 7 to 8. I don't want to do that right now.
Now, is this going to be playing the same time in America as it's playing?
It's a 5-hour delay, I believe. So it'll
okay,
be,
but the same days. It's not going to dick me around and make me second guess when it's going to fucking air here.
I believe it's going to be like just the 5-hour, after. It's not going to be like a lot of other British shows that air over here in America. Graham Norton Show. Sorry, I have that weird cough going on right now, where it's an 8-day delay, or not even 8 days. It's almost 10, and all that. It's just weird how some of these shows it takes a while, but I think it is going to be right after, like it airs at like 10 p.m. over in England, and then it airs 10 p.m. over here, and all that.
Well, the other thing is that, I mean, when the Christmas special happened last year, I want to remind you people, fucking last year, so it's been a year without a Sherlock, and a big jump from before that to when we had like the season or series of Sherlock to here's something to just a little just something to tide you over, fucking make it last. I for some reason my DVR did not record it, or maybe I missed recording it. Something just fucked me, and so I didn't get to see it for a long time until it finally showed up on Netflix. And then when it showed up on Netflix, I was like, well, do I want to fucking watch it, or do I want to watch all fucking Sherlock again? So I did watch it not too long ago, and got really excited for Sherlock again, and I hadn't been in a long time, because out of sight, out of fucking mind. But and I was a little bitter. So great that now it's coming back, and thank you for fucking reminding me, because I would have fucking missed it again and been pissed.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I'm here for. But I will add that, I mean, yeah, this is one of those shows that I could sit back and watch, and this does take more devotion, because it's only four seasons / series, with 3 episodes each, plus a Christmas episode, so 13 episodes. After this is done, they're all an hour and a half long. It is some time consuming stuff here.
But the thing about Sherlock is that because they're treated like mini movies, is it's not that episodic thing where you go from one episode to the next. You feel like, oh, I've just got to jump right in the next one. You get a completion after each episode. You get a beginning, a middle, and an end for each thing. And that's different. It feels that Doctor Who has gotten to where they're doing 2 episodes kind of in a row, like a part 1 and part 2 for the last couple of seasons, as I recall last I watched it.
Yeah.
And that's not even so bad, because it works out to about the same amount of time. But it's not like Twin Peaks, where you're like, oh, I finished that episode, here's the next 9, because I can't stop watching. Like there's a definite, like, you've shot up you've tied off, but you can let that go now. As I go back to my drug references, please don't do them. Because you can stop. You can go and potty and look outside and maybe go to work so you don't get fucking fired. You heebie-jeebie. You just know it'll still be there when you come home later and you get a nice new fresh start. It's fun.
Yeah. And I will add, just on a personal note here, when I started watching Sherlock the first season when it came out, they had on PBS on their masterpiece selection the movie that was starred Christopher Eccleston, that was a John Lennon biopic, and they had Moriarty, the actor who plays Moriarty, in here playing. I can't remember which Beatle it was, but I think he played one of the Beatles, and it was cool to see, like, at the same time as I'm watching him, being Moriarty, I flip it over and I'm like, well, what is this?
Tell me he played Yoko, because I believe that the dude could play a good Yoko. I have faith.
Oh gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts now figuring out who it was that he played, but it was a good role. Like, to watch that. But yeah, so here, tell us about your next show.
My next show, I've mentioned it more than once. It is easily the show that I am most looking forward to of this year, as far as I've seen. No, that's a lot of fuck no. Because why would I want to watch The Flash since I've seen the same shit for 3 seasons? Hey, look, here's a guy who runs fast. You can't see his face. You got to guess who it is. Is this? Like, have we figured this out yet? No, you wouldn't figure dick out. A little bitter about CW. The show I'm looking forward to that is based off of a comic book property, and crazily enough is coming from Fox. How the fuck does this work? Is Legion. I am just fucking salivating to see this goddamn show about a character from the comics I never really liked. Don't dig on Legion. Don't like the weird hair. Don't like the powers. Don't like that he's Xavier's son. Any of it is just like, well, what a bullshit fucking character this is. But it's from the people who made the Fargo series, and it looks fucking awesome and weird and creepy and dumb and smart at the same time, and just like, shit, who took this property and made something fucking original and interesting out of it? Because they sure as fuck aren't letting those people near the movies, and they should. But god damn it, I'm excited for Legion. So if you don't know, it is about a mutant, and mutants exist, and there may be some references to the X-Men characters. There may not. There's a lot of questions about that. I don't give a fuck. But if you like the X-Men stuff, then you might want to check this out. It's certainly a different take. It's as different as Deadpool was from the other X-Men movies. It's as different as Logan is promising to be from the other fucking Wolverine movies. And god damn it, if you haven't seen the Fargo series, the first 2 seasons have just been masterful. You need to watch that too, but this will teach you as to why. I think I have a feeling that this show is going to be epically good, and I really hope that it catches on, because it just looks so great. At the same time, part of the reason why Fargo has worked so well for me is the fact that each season has been self-contained, and if it stopped coming out, I mean, I would cry a lot, but I would be okay mostly. I'd have the shakes. My hair would be a little bit whiter, but I would be okay because it told the story that it needed to for each of those seasons. And if Legion is a 1-season thing, if they do it the same way, it's like, it's not a matter of like having to chase this thing for 7 seasons. It's just, here's a really good fucking show for 10 episodes or whatever, and then if we come back, great. If not, big deal. I love that. I want to see that kind of thing happen. We'll see. But it looks
great. Legion looks pretty cool. I mean, I've seen some of the things, and I was curious to see how it was going to work. but yeah, that's one that I'm like, all right, yeah, I will definitely be checking that out. Coming at it strictly from the mutants side of thing because I haven't really seen Fargo, which I need to fix. I
You
need to fix.
really do.
Yeah.
God damn it. So good.
And on a side note, the actor who I was mentioning, Andrew Scott, who plays Moriarty in Sherlock, played Paul McCartney, and the movie that I was referring to is called Lennon Naked.
Now,
It
here's
was
the trick, though. He plays Paul McCartney and Yoko Ono. It's the same person, and he's just fucking with John Lennon's mind the whole fucking time, man.
You say that, and I'm
That
like, and I just had the actress who played on there. She's a Japanese actress. And I am trying to pull up the IMDb page right now, but it's like to say it's not fair to Naiko Mori who plays Yoko Ono in the show or in the
no, I'm
movie,
just I'm
but
just saying, fucking Paul McCartney, Mr. Ripley, the fuck out of John Lennon. That's why when they say on the album, "I killed Paul," it's like you thought you killed Paul, but now Paul is everywhere. Paul is everyone. Paul is your world. Wings, motherfucker. Boom. All the clues are there. Live and let die.
Oh god. But yeah.
I don't know how Michael Jackson figures into it, but I know that was fucked up. Some KGB shit.
So my next show, keeping with the whole British thing, Greg is an Anglophile here, is Humans, and this is airing on AMC. It has already aired on Channel 4. I don't know what you're saying, but wait, didn't it mean you already watched it? No, I did not. I'm saving myself for AMC.
For
No,
marriage.
well that too, but it was one of those things that I forgot it was airing, and it just sort of came up like boom, Humans. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, cool. And it's February. I'm like, all right, this is actually great because I've already got way too much shit on my plate right now with like Walking Dead and all these other shows that I'm watching that I am enjoying watching. So I will wait until February, and where I can be like, all right, watching this, and we'll call it good. But yeah, I mean, Humans. For those of you guys who don't know, this is the second season slash series, depending on where you watch it, because I do that with British shows. And this is the world, a near future world where androids are just commonplace. They are used as servants, um both of the general like everyday usage and then the brown chicka wow wow usage. um and you are following a small group of people slash androids that are the androids are becoming sentient. They are becoming more than just how may I help you, Corey, sort of deal. They are
No one
they're
ever asks that. No one ever offers. I don't get a lot of Bow Chicka Wow Wow offers either, but it's fine. I get it. It's
but I mean it's such an interesting show, an interesting um idea for a show that's well executed. um
Now here's where I'm going to be unfair, but at the same time, fucking let's deal with reality. So sell me on this compared to the fact that I just watched an incredible season. I felt, my
mhm.
opinion, may not be yours. Fucking things vary. Of Westworld on HBO, which sounds in basic premise similar. So
The
tell me
difference
why I would watch Humans 2
well
when I already
this
have
is
Westworld.
this is coming from a dude who didn't finish Westworld because he got
You
bored
dumb
with it.
son of a bitch. I
I
mean,
got, I got bored with it. I'm gonna be flat out honest. I got bored watching it. I had 3 backed up, and I'm like, I can get sort of not watch this. It because it seemed like I was watching it more for like, am I gonna see Bryce Dallas Howard naked, or something like that? Than
I don't think that's even possible since she's not on the show.
exactly. I realized that after I said that. I'm not every show would. But it became more of like, am I going to see nudity in here as opposed to, is
Well,
this
it's
a
an
good
HBO show.
story?
You're always going to see nudity. The question should be,
Yeah.
am I going to see dong? Because honestly, fucking, we all get it. All right, you love the tit. We all love the tit. Boobs forever. Woohoo! But throw a dong out there once in a while. Be the man here. Be the fucking man. Just fucking step up, cock out. Just cock it. It's fair. It's fucking fair. It's about fucking time, and it's fair. And I'm not saying a lot of people want to see it. No, dong ain't pretty. It's not like it's loving coming up to you, and like if I saw it in the woods, I'd shoot it and run back to my car. I get it. But fucking fair is fucking fair. You got some good looking dudes on, got some good looking mans. Put the mans on display. Let them show as much as the women. It's just, it ain't right. Not to do it.
So to answer your question,
am I getting dong on humans? Because I'll watch. Not because I want to, but because it's like I gotta support. The dong movement is coming. Wow, that sounded wrong. The dog movement is due.
Is it long, and do you sometimes have to duck?
It's coming right at us. Please don't be in 3D. It can't handle that. No.
So honestly, the thing that
also don't need the intimidation of a 60-inch TV with dong on it. That's just that's hard.
So honestly, the part for me that was the big part for humans, that
the big part. Woof.
Fuck you. That sold me on it is the fact that there's an actual protagonist, like going through Westworld, and maybe it was one of those, like, if I watched the final episodes, I would find out who the antagonist is. But you have, from the beginning, you have these clear lines of, here's a group of people and androids that are pro sentient life, they are actual, they should be allowed to just be, like, yes, they could feel pain, they could do all this stuff. Then you have this other group over here who is like, that is wrong, that should not be happening, they are servants, they are not living people, they are just robots. And then you got this family in the middle who has the main beat. Can you throw up that graphic again? The main robot that you see there, played by Gemma Chan, and they are in this world where they have to decide, well, which side is right, which side, where do I go, here, you got. And you're quickly realizing with the dude on the right, who is actually a cyborg. The only difference is he doesn't have a mother box in him, like the DC comic cyborg has. He has like, these are his brothers and sisters, essentially, is how he sees it. And I look through, I watch the show, and I know who I side with. I know, okay, yes, the blonde chick in there is a little bit of a dick, and she's a little bit more extreme. And you have these variants of how much they, like, because she would be like, destroy all humans. She would be full on Dalek. Thanks, Pete. You can take that down before we get taken down ourselves.
All right, but you definitely, you find it to be the superior show for your choices.
Yeah, it's to me, it's more compelling, and I hate saying that because I did enjoy Westworld in the beginning. It's just, it became a little bit boring. Like, it was just like, all right, I'm watching this again. And
look, I value your very wrong opinion. And I appreciate you being so open with it, knowing that you will be mocked mercilessly from here on. No, I get it, man. It's cool.
No, yeah. And it'll probably be one of those things like where I will eat crow and I'll be like, all right, so I watched the last 4 episodes.
No.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, I've done it before.
But that's okay. The thing is that it's important with the amount of choices we have. You've got to recognize what works for you and what doesn't. And yes, some shows take more dedication, but no one can tell you how dedicated you should be to something before it gets good for you. And and when you hit your stopping point of like, I can't really get into this, then you just go. There's
Yeah.
so much more out there to find the better things for your tastes. And that's what we do here. That's what we try to do, is we try to tell you the things that we think are interesting, and we try to help you find things that will be interesting for you. But man, like the same thing with pot. We give our scores and shit, but we know our scores are not going to match up with everybody else's taste. And that's cool, because the diversity is what makes it great.
Also, what makes it great is when you have a guest come on that recommends Edward Scissorhands.
Or dong.
So, Corey, you have a show here that you've recommended, very similar to your last show.
Well, no, I'm not recommending this.
Okay,
Let's step back. I'm looking at it because here's the thing: is that in 2016 we have seen 2 DC movies, which I have felt have been okay down to the fuck you thinking, man, and that's an official rating. And then we've had some Marvel movies, which I think have been pretty good to, yeah, really fucking good.
Yeah.
Which still does not mean that either of them have been my favorites. What I'm trying to find is some connection to DC Universe as far as a like film or television program. Now, the Justice League action cartoon, I watched the premiere of that.
Oh fuck, I forgot that.
Yeah, I fucking liked it a lot because it felt not exactly like, but close to the Dini / Burnett stuff, the Dwayne McDuffie written stuff for Justice League Unlimited. I think it's a pretty solid cartoon, but I want to see what DC can do with live action stuff, and this is a very different take because it's a sitcom starring regular people in the DC universe trying to do their regular stuff. It's called Powerless, and it's got Vanessa Hudgens, it's got Alan Tudyk, it's got Abed. What is the guy who plays Abed's name? God damn it,
Danny Pudi.
Danny Pudi. And they will
Ron
have
Funches?
interactions. What?
Ron Funches?
Oh, I didn't realize. That's right. Ron Funches came in later. He was added in. And man, I want to see Ron Funches have success on a fucking show. Thank you, NBC, for giving him another chance, because all the things you can say about Dateless being what it fucking was, it was fun to watch those people play around with each other. And Ron Funches is just a barrel full of fucking joy dipped in honey. And I'd like to see him, succeed. So it's about these people who work and exist in a world where superheroes also exist, and kind of dealing with it. I don't expect these superhero stuff to be a big part of it. I think it's going to be a springboard for other storylines. Fucking Alan Tudyk, I will watch any fucking thing that guy's in, except for Serenity. I still can't do it because it makes me cry. But he was just in Rogue One. He was fucking brilliant in that. He usually is. I will keep following around. He's my man love. If he wants to show up on Westworld and show dong, I'm all for it. But just in general, I'm gonna give this a chance. I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't know what to expect. It's a comedy on NBC, which is already tough these days to be in, and it's regular people in a superhero universe, also kind of fucking tough, just as a selling point. We'll see. I don't know. Has Vanessa Hudgens had a lead show before since like fucking High School Musical days? She's done a lot of things. She's been in movies and stuff, but I haven't seen her in a lead in a long time. So she's got experience.
I want to say she was in one of the NBC movies, or the NBC, the live things.
I I know Victoria Justice was just on Fox's Rocky Horror remake, but I don't know if Vanessa
Yeah,
Hudgens is done. But maybe, but still, it's like this. I think this is probably her like first lead show that she's done that I can think of, and it
she was
seems
on
like,
Grease. She was
oh yeah, okay, so she was, yeah, that makes
she
sense.
played Betty. She played Betty Rizzo.
Oh
But I mean, this for a lead thing, this is her first, really her first thing since, I mean, the High School Musical stuff.
yeah,
Because
and
everything
I
else,
think
it's
it's a
either
long
she's
time
a
coming. I think that she's a talented young actress, um, and it may be the makings of, even if the show isn't the right fit for her, it may be the makings of what launches her into the next thing, and she jumps around until she finds something that fits. But
yeah.
she's due. Danny Pudi is always fun to see in anything. So I expect that I'll want to support it because of the people in it. But since we've seen no real footage still, and they've been talking about the show for a fucking year and a half, and we've seen stills from it for a long time, it's just surprising that this hasn't been shown more. I kind of question how much faith they have in it. I really hope that that it lands with an audience somehow or another, but we'll see. I mean, at least it's not on Fox.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly the big red flag is that we've still seen the same posters, um like the drawn one from Comic-Con that had Ron Funches before, and I guess he cut his hair and shaved his beard for the part and stuff like that, but we haven't seen any commercials. And usually, if anyone if anyone thinks that a show is going to do remotely good from these marketing company or from these companies, they will market the hell out of that show.
I
Like
mean,
we've
I'll be honest. It's not like I'm fucking watching NBC to see commercials for it, but
well, no, even then, like watching, for example, I don't watch a lot of Fox. I watch like Son of Zorn and New Girl. I was like, there's another show I watch. I know there is, and that's sort of it. And I've seen in every single ad break since November a commercial for the Mick, which airs this coming Sunday, on the 1st. And yet I watch more NBC shows. I watch This Is Us. I watch, way more NBC programming than I do Fox. Have not seen a single commercial. There's not even one on YouTube from a commercial for Powerless. So that does put a little bit of fear into me right now. Just because there's no, there's NBC has been powerless in showing us clips about Powerless.
slam.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I like I said,
Yeah.
I put it on my list not to rip on it. I put it on my list because I
You
want
have
to give it a
hope.
chance.
Yeah.
Hope is so that's a killing word now that fucking Snyder ruined it with Man of Steel. But I just I want to believe.
Yes. You want to be a true believer. Oh, wait, wrong universe. Sorry. My next show that I want to bring light on, is actually taking over the Legends of Tomorrow time slot on Thursdays at 10 on the CW. And this is another comic book show, but it's not in the DC universe. This is Riverdale. This is the new Archie live action TV show that at first when I saw the stuff and I saw the casting, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I could see I think it's Cole Sprouse, from the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody playing Jughead. And yet now I'm like, nope, I see it. I could see him playing Jughead.
I'll tell you what I have a problem
And
with is this KJ Appa kid who has black eyebrows with his red hair, and I just have zero buy-in to him being a redhead, let alone
yeah,
Archie Andrews.
yeah. And I mean, it's like I'm starting to see this, especially with I think what's been helping is reading the Mark Waid stuff, the rebooted Archie universe that they got going on right now, and thoroughly enjoying that. Loving Chip Zdarsky's run on Jughead with Erica Henderson doing the art, going over to Ryan North, and I've read everything, and it's like I want there to be something in there that I can drop, but it's all been so good. Like I'm reading what Archie, Betty and Veronica, Jughead, um, there's no Josie and the Pussycats, and it's like I want to drop one because I'm reading way too many. I hate to say it, but I'm reading way too many comic books. But it's like I can't because they're all good, and that's what I'm hoping comes out of the show. Is just like I want to drop this. I want to drop this show, but I can't because it is good and all that. But I figured
the creator of the show is Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, who writes for Archie Comics. I think he was doing the Afterlife with Archie comic. He's written a lot of different things that I like throughout the years. I'm not there on this one. I get that the modern Archie is more of this type, but this looks like Dawson's Creek with a Gossip Girl murder mystery feel to it, and it's not just that I'm not the audience for this, which I already know I'm not. I think the people who worked on Gossip Girl actually worked on this too, and I know that already is not a show that I was interested in. But more than that is it, and I know it's a failing of my own. I'm sort of an Archie purist. I don't want to see Archie and Cheryl Blossom and Betty and Veronica and all these people. I don't want to see emo Jughead. I don't want to see these characters named as characters that I know, but acting completely different from the characters I know. And we know that that's something that I have a problem with, because I have a problem with Superman who doesn't act like fucking Superman. The Superman on the Supergirl show is great. He's what I want a Superman on screen to be. And the Superman in the films is like Superman in costume only. I mean, half the time they don't even call him Superman. I don't dig on that, but I accept that these things are not just made for me. They're made for other people. And they're certainly pulling out all the stops with like getting people like Luke Perry is playing Archie's dad. I saw that Molly Ringwald is going to be involved in the show, I think is Archie's mom. That's great. That's stunt casting, but I don't have a problem with stunt casting, especially when it's smartly done. I can't look at this and have any kind of buy-in for it at this point. It's just everything about it. None of it feels like Archie at all to me. And on top of that, none of it feels like a show that is interesting to me, because it feels like other CW shows that have already existed, and I've already been burnt out by most of their stuff as it was.
You want to know what I want to have happen in the future? With a year or two from now, when they announce that they're doing the release of Cloak and Dagger, and I say all this stuff, I want you to remind me, like, if you started watching it and like be like, hey, remember Riverdale? And I'd be like, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing though, is that I'll be honest, I was never a big fan of Cloak and Dagger to begin with. I grew up with Archie comics. I was probably reading Archie as young as like 4 years old. And there was Archie, there was Little Archie, there were all the Archie books. And I still see Archie digests in Safeway, which is amazing to me.
They still,
and I get the nostalgic of like, fucking, there's an Archie comic. It's $1.79. I can get it right now. It's got like 5 stories in it. They may not be great, but it's timeless. It's like McDonald's cheeseburgers. It's not great food. It's not super good for you or nutritious, but it tastes good enough, and it makes you feel like you felt when you first had it 30 years ago. I totally have that feeling of nostalgia when it comes to these characters, which is why I can't disconnect from it. And I haven't been reading the Mark Waid stuff. I haven't been reading the Zdarsky stuff or any of those things. And I know that those are all creators who are bringing something new to it, and that newness is springboarding into these projects and stuff. And I totally get it. It's just not for me.
No, yeah. And I do think you would like the comics a little bit more, because of the fact that not only is it there, but I'll use the Mark Waid issue, for example, or the Mark Waid, with him doing Archie, for instance. You take the first issue, and every single issue of Archie, of Jughead, of Betty and Veronica, of Josie and the Pussycats, I think even with Life with Kevin, is they feature a backstory, a separate story from the originals, from the stuff done before. So, for example, that first issue of Archie Comics that was written by Mark Waid, drawn by Fiona Staples, it featured the very first issue of Archie, the very first story, with a foreword, which is weird because it takes place after the original story, but with a foreword by Mark Waid on why he picked that story to be the first one and what it meant. And, you know, just Mark Waid being a fantastic freaking comic book historian, and just educating the new comic book reader in there. And every single one has done that, from either the writer, if not the editor of the book, in there, which has been really cool.
Yeah, I just, when I see a show like this get made, it's the same sort of mentality as like taking Casper the Friendly Ghost and making him extreme in the 90s and giving him a skateboard, and like he fucking hangs at the mall and shit, but he's a ghost. And it's like it's trying to modernize it for a new audience, and missing the point of, well, there was an audience for Archie, and there continues to be an audience for Archie that enjoys Archie. And it may not be huge, although Archie has bigger distribution than pretty much any other comic out there, because it goes into grocery stores and stuff. But we're gonna make it something else to pretend Archie people into getting into it who would never read a fucking Archie comic. It's like, well, then why are you making an Archie show? Is it just because you've got the IP and you just need to sell it? I don't understand conceptually of like, we're gonna change everything about the characters and the premise and the situations. I bet there's no fucking malt shop called Pops. And if there is, it's going to be like somebody got murdered there. I don't get why you take an IP and apply it to something where it doesn't make sense for, and make it its own, the whole new thing to be permanently going forward for that. It's like the Afterlife with Archie comics were fun as an idea, but it wasn't supposed to replace Archie. The new ideas of the comics and stuff like that they're doing, great, fun, but it's still not supposed to replace Archie as Archie is. It's a new take.
And it doesn't.
And an alternate kind of universe sort of thing. But Archie has grown. Archie's progressed over the years. And if this is a natural progression, that's fine. You know, and I'm not the super Archie fan of the world. I'm just like, I look at this and I just can't see why.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah. That's,
a lot of young kids, fucking 90210 and up. It's that's it. Go, man.
Yeah.
You do what you're gonna do. But the dude fucking, why can't you get a real redhead to play the lead? I mean, that's just fucked up.
So you have I skipped over one show, but I can get to that afterwards. You got one last show here, that we already watched. We talk about this occasionally, but you're still excited for it.
God damn it! It's like, so what I'm going to talk about, and I'm just going to say it tertially because we all know what it fucking is. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and now, I mean, people have made some insinuations that if fucking Jon Stewart was still in the air, the Trump thing would probably never happen. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know. But we need Jon Stewart right now, and we don't have him, but we've got some great people in his place. Samantha Bee's show is really good, and has kind of helped keep me sane in a time of craziness. Seth Meyers has been doing some really good stuff about this stuff. Stephen Colbert has been doing some great stuff, but I don't think anybody has nailed it. And part of it is the fact that it's on HBO. Part of it is that he saves it up for one night a week, and plus it's just that he's fucking John Oliver. John Oliver gets it. And as we go into this new year and we go into this new presidency and we go into fucking danger. Well, though I'm not going to do the dance. I need John Oliver. My heart, my soul needs John Oliver to fucking make some fucking sense for me right now and to give me a sense of hope at the same time of pointing out the bullshit and just showing us that there are things that are going to happen that are going to not make sense. And there are things that are going to happen and we're going to feel distraught. We're going to feel lost. We're going to feel beat up. We're going to feel like the world has gone really fucking dark. But we're going to get to celebrate the fact that there's some intelligence out there. There's some reason out there. There's some love out there in the same breaths. And I really hope that at this point in time, when we're going to need comedy most of all, we're going to need satire a lot, and people are going to try to label it fake news, not understanding what the difference is. I feel like this is going to be what I'm going to cling to right now, as I hide more and more from my Facebook feed, as I hide more and more from the news aggregators that are just trying to like beat me down with shit. It's like, look, I know the world's a crappy place. Like I said, you can concentrate on death or you can concentrate on life. You can concentrate on bad, you can concentrate on good. Now, you have to look at the bad. You have to know, you have to see the things that are out there that you want to affect change in, but you don't want to just drown in it. And I need something to counterbalance. I need something to keep my hope afloat. And I think that that's what John Oliver does.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean,
and anybody who disagrees with me politically, I totally get it. I understand. I value that you have your differing opinions. It's not a me against you thing. It's just that, you know, what you feel like you felt for the last 8 years under the Democratic president, for whatever reasons, that's where we're at now. And I think that that's often what happens. I look at it as a more social aspect of, I have people I care about who are already going to be greatly affected by some of the things that are going to be changing, and I worry for them.
Yeah. And I mean, I look at it, you know, not only for the fact that he covered he was basically on the air for the whole election, but you look at the fact that excuse me, that he did that for his A block, for his main story. Yeah, he did talk about a few other things, but he would shed light on, and will, when you know, when the show comes back, shed light on something that you're like, well, I guess I thought about that in, you know, in like in a basic thing, but not in a like I think in the first
it goes into the depth of it.
Yeah, like he covered the Flint water crisis thing, and just so had the you know, gave it depth for people, you know, all the way across in California, and who were like, Flint, where the fuck is Flint at? You know, with Corey being one of the few exceptions because he's from Michigan. He knows where Flint's been. He's probably been to Flint.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
One of my closest friends when I was still in Michigan lived in Flint. A lot of my family is right by Flint, but not in Flint. And there's a difference. There's things to know, is that there's differences. It's just like if you live in California, you don't fucking just automatically live in LA or San Francisco. You've realized that there's a north and a south. But Beatmaster's pointing out that he probably helped influence a lot of the stuff with the FCC. The other thing is just in general, I prefer someone who doesn't just take one side. Now, obviously, John Oliver tends towards the left socially, as I do, just like Jon Stewart did, just like Stephen Colbert did, but parodied the right doing it. But he will call out shit on his own side, and that's something else I need. I need to know that it's okay. I don't expect you to not have a bias, but I do expect you to be able to go outside of your bias in the name of the truth. And it's weird to be talking about that in relation to a comedian.
Yeah.
But that's what's happened is our comedians have become better sources of our news than our news sources who label themselves as entertainment.
You've nailed it on the head. I mean, I look at, as a recent example, the that Tommy, whatever her name is, that when she appeared on The Daily Show, Beatmaster had pointed it out to me. I had fallen a couple episodes behind on The Daily Show, and I watched the interview and I'm like, all right, this is the problem I have with a lot of the journalists who lean super left or super right, because they will dodge and weave a question like they are a fucking boxer. You know, I'm blanking on it. Trevor Noah brought up the point of with the QB for Colin Kaepernick for the 49ers, how he would take a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, say what you will about that fact, that he did that as a sign of protest for Black Lives Matter. And I'm going to hit a whole bunch of hot button issues, and I don't give a fuck. He'd said, well, he asked her the simple question, what should he have done? He's taking his, much like she gets to take her Facebook Live video, however she airs her videos out there, and she gets to stand up on her soapbox and say the thing she wants to her audience. That was him doing the same thing.
Yeah, everybody likes to say, "Oh, I don't want to hear celebrities' opinions on politics and stuff." They don't. Why do I have to hear that? They should just shut up and act. It's like, but everybody that you ever listen to about anything, you're listening to them because they're a celebrity. If you're listening to your Fox News people or your Glenn Becks or whoever, they're a celebrity and they get to tell you their opinions because of their celebrity. If you just want to close off everything, then go behind your TV, yank that fucking cord out of the wall, shove it outside, and sit down in a blank room and listen to your own fucking thoughts for a while. I bet you it's going to be really quiet, but okay, because that's what fucking it is everybody is allowed to have an opinion. And if you're a celebrity, then maybe your opinion gets a little bit louder than everybody else's, but it doesn't mean that you have to fucking accept what they say is truth. You still get to make your own fucking judgment. You get to act like a fucking grown-up once in a while and figure it out for your own fucking self. But fucking realize that the world is not just going to sit around and wait for you to decide. We all have our own motivations. We all have our own shit to do. We're all figuring it out for ourselves. And we're maybe at best trying to inform people. And at worst, maybe trying to just fucking up our own popularity chain. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I'm also excited to see John Oliver coming back for this reason. But yeah, so the show that I skipped, and this is the last show we'll talk about, is Man Seeking Woman. This is on FXX. This is the third season that they had. And this one is hitting a very specific niche I have. And that's the absurd humor. Because a lot of the shows here, or with this, you're following a 20-something-year-old named played by Jay Baruchel as he's going through life. It's not the creator, but he's an executive producer. He's also the director for Portlandia with Jonathan Crystal. And so I saw that and I'm like, oh well, I enjoy his stuff on Portlandia. I'll probably enjoy this too. And sure enough, I did. It is so freaky, weird. Like, they had in one of the first episodes in the first season, he actually, I think it was the pilot actually, the main character was actually going out with an internet troll, and it was an actual troll. And it's the funny moments like that that make that I really enjoyed. Um and yeah, it's one of the shows I just really like. And I'm like, oh, hey, it's coming back. Cool. A reason to watch FXX now that the league is canceled or has ended and all that.
Yeah, I mean, FXX. The absurdity is probably what would attract me to the show. I have not watched it, but the problem I was having with FXX for a while is that a lot of their comedy shows were working extra hard to not be funny. Um,
Yeah.
like Baskets. Holy shit, man! You tell me that Zach Galifianakis is going to play a clown, and then Louis Anderson is going to play his mom, and expect me not to think that this is going to be fucking hilarious, and then just give me just misery for fucking 20 minutes at a shit pop. It's like, what the fuck did you just do? I get no fucking joy out of that. My wife and I watch it and like, I have never been so bored. I want to stick things in myself just to
Yeah.
make sure I'm still alive. This is fucking awful. And other shows that even though they might be brilliant, like Louis, it doesn't mean that it's a joy or enjoyable to like watch. The stories are hard. It's art more than it's comedy, and
I hate to,
I'm not saying that that's not okay, but it's just like you've hit this point on your shows where I can't fucking do it anymore, man.
I hate to tell you this, but your problem isn't that. Your problem is that you, much like a lot of other people, don't know which shows air on which network. Because both the shows that you just gave the example of air on FX.
Yeah, but it's the same goddamn thing because
No,
half the good
no.
shows of XX went over to FXX, and then they're it just like fucks you here, fucks you there. Fucking use a vowel once in a while, people.
But yeah, I mean, it is a fun show. And I look forward to seeing the next season. I believe it's in February. But yeah.